Imagine stepping away from the modern city noise and into a damp stone vault frozen in time since the Middle Ages. We're capturing the seamless transition as these historic underground caverns evolve into vibrant cafes and luxury living spaces. Experience the rhythmic pulse of a city that lives life underground. There is something underneath Utrecht, beneath the cobblestones, beneath the cafe terraces, beneath the cyclists and the canal boats and the flower boxes hanging from 400-year-old windows. Something ancient. Something that most people walk over every single day without knowing it is there. And once you know it exists, once you understand what this city is truly standing on, Utrecht looks completely different. It begins 2,000 years ago. In the year 47 AD, Roman soldiers arrived at a bend in the Rhine River and built a fortress. They called it Trajectum. It was not a grand city, not a palace, just a military outpost at the very edge of the Roman Empire, the furthest north the Romans ever settled in what is now the Netherlands. Beyond this point, they decided the world was too wild to control. So they stopped here and they built their walls. Those walls are still there, not visible from the street, not marked with a grand monument or a museum entrance you might notice from a distance. They are 4 meters underground, directly beneath Dom Square, the central square of Utrecht, where thousands of people sit and eat and talk and watch the world go by every single day. If you know where to look, you can go down there, through a door, down a staircase, into the dark, and you find yourself standing inside a Roman fortress that is nearly 2,000 years old. The walls, the foundations of a temple, and somewhere in the excavated earth nearby, a wooden wine barrel still intact from the 1st century. A barrel that was already ancient when the Roman Empire fell. That is the secret underneath Utrecht. But it is only the first one, because Utrecht has been accumulating secrets for 20 centuries. And not all of them are buried underground. Some of them are standing in plain sight, hiding in a beauty so quiet and so complete that most visitors simply do not notice what they are looking at. The Dom Tower rises from the center of the city at 112 meters. It is the tallest church tower in the Netherlands, and it has stood at the heart of Utrecht for over 600 years, watching empires rise and fall, watching the city change around it, watching generation after generation of Utrechters grow up in its shadow. But here is what very few people know. The tower is alone. It was never supposed to be alone. It was designed to be attached to a cathedral, the Dom Church, one of the grandest Gothic churches in the medieval Netherlands. For centuries, the tower and the cathedral stood together, connected by a long stone nave that stretched between them. Then, in 1674, a tornado struck Utrecht. The nave collapsed completely. In a matter of minutes, the section of the church connecting the tower to the main body of the building was simply gone. The tower survived. The choir of the cathedral survived. But the middle section, the part that held them together, was destroyed so thoroughly that the rubble was cleared and the ground was left open. And it has been open ever since. Today, Dom Square exists in that space. A public square. Open sky. Market stalls, pigeons, students eating lunch. Sitting exactly where the nave of a Gothic cathedral stood for 300 years before the storm took it. Walk between the Dom Tower and the remaining choir building and you're walking through a ghost. Through the outline of something that was once there and is no longer the tower on one side. The choir on the other. And between them nothing but air and memory. That is Utrecht. A city where the absent things are as powerful as the present ones. But walk deeper into the city and something shifts. Away from the Dom Tower. Away from the main squares, the streets narrow and the noise falls away. And you find yourself standing at the edge of the Oudegracht, the old canal, looking down at something that exists nowhere else in the Netherlands, 2 levels. Every other canal city in the country has canals at street level. You stand on the bank and look across the water. That is the canal. But in Utrecht, the canal runs lower than the street. And along its banks, cut into the stone, are the wharf cellars. Vaulted underground spaces that were once used by medieval merchants to store their goods directly from the boats below. The water at their doorstep. The street above their ceiling. Some of these cellars are now bars and restaurants. You descend a staircase from the street, and suddenly you are at the water's edge inside an 800-year-old stone vault. Eating dinner while the canal laps quietly against the foundations a meter away. In the summer of 2020, while carrying out restoration work in the wharves, the city discovered something that surprised even the historians. Ground-penetrating radar revealed approximately 200 underground cellars beneath the historic center, whose existence had been completely forgotten. 200 hidden spaces, right beneath the city. Unknown, unmapped, sealed. Nobody is entirely certain what all of them were used for. And Utrecht, being Utrecht, does not rush to explain. Then there is the philosopher between 1635 and 1639, René Descartes, one of the most important thinkers in the history of Western philosophy. The man who wrote I Think Therefore I Am lived in Utrecht. He stayed in the house of a university professor. He walked these streets. He thought his great thoughts in this city. The university promptly condemned his philosophy as dangerous. Today, the same university has a Descartes College, a Descartes Center, and a Descartes Hall. Utrecht has always known how to change its mind. And that is perhaps the most beautiful thing about this city. It is old enough to have made every mistake, patient enough to have corrected most of them, and honest enough to have left the evidence in plain sight, in the open square where a cathedral used to stand, in the underground cellars whose purpose is still uncertain, in the Roman walls that sit 4 meters below the feet of people who have no idea they are there. Most cities show you what they want you to see. Utrecht shows you everything. And then it waits. Quietly, unhurried, entirely sure of itself, for you to understand what you are looking at.